Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, and if like right now, I'm talking to my dear friend Ariana,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm ignoring your millions and millions of other listeners. Okay, not intentionally, listeners. I care about each and every one of you, but it's just the idea that you just have to keep it the interview, whether it's a sales opportunity, a personal appearance, or you are on a podcast or a vlog, what have you, that you, especially when you start, scale it down to where you're comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us, even with strangers, can talk one-on-one. Whereas, if you start thinking about, okay, I am now being listened to by 10 or 15,000 people, my bowels turn to water.
Mm-hmm.
But in this little space where you and I are at this very moment as we're recording,
Mm-hmm.
I'm comfortable there.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a certain amount of control in that. So, there are things to be concerned with, but the more you do this thing, just like with writing, or writing poetry or creating music, what have you, the more you do this thing, the more comfortable you become at the act of doing it. I mean, I just look back. I've been doing the full-time thing, like you said, since 2012.
Wow, that is a while.
Yeah, it's like 70 in dog years.
Yeah.
But, and it feels like it some days too. But it's the idea that I recognize how I have had to evolve in order to grow my business. And for all that we talk about the artistic side of creativity, if you put your stuff out there, it becomes a business.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to treat it like your business. And so, you have to recognize that part of your promotion or your advertising is going to be around you, because as much as I recognize that my books like Santa Stein or Volcano, Rebirth of the Champion, or How to Write Amazon Reviews, or how Amazon Reviews Made Less Impossible, all of my books are a product, but then again, so am I.
Mm-hmm. You're your own brand, as they say. You have to create your brand.
Exactly. And in a lot of cases, people will check out your work and purchase from you if they like you. Presenting a consistent image is good. For instance, like you mentioned, I wear a fez.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is very deliberate, and it's not just to, like, if I'm on TV, to prevent the glare from burning into the camera and making you think it's a J.J. Abrams film. But it's about a recognizable image that you look at, you remember some aspect of it, like you remember the fez, or in my case, you might remember the sideburns or the bow tie I wear. And I wear the fez and the bow tie because I am a Doctor Who fan. I'm not a Shriner. They have far cooler fezzes than mine, I must say.
Yeah, I did have to question. I remember when I first met you, I was like, why is that guy wearing a fez? Because the only people who I ever saw wear those were the Shriners. And I think that's one thing Josh had even said, do you think he's like part of those Shriners? I'm like, I don't know.
You ask him. No, in fact, this weekend I was at a show and someone stopped me and said, well, I really like to thank you for all you do for the community. And I'm thinking, this is great. I didn't know he watched my shows.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, your Shriner work. I'm like, oh, boy, we got that conversation coming up again. So, and the only person that ever really pushed back on it was an actual Shriner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he looked at my hat and he said, mine's a lot better than yours.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm like, what, you bought yours at, like Spirit Halloween 2? What the heck? And then he proceeded to tell me he was a Shriner. I'm like, okay, dude, I surrender the battle right now. You do have a cooler fez. I don't even need to see it. I know you've got a nicer fez than I do. But it's my fez, and I love my fez. It keeps my head warm, and it makes me happy.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, you'd have to just meet Brian at one of the conventions. You'll know it's him right away. I say this as a compliment. He's like the jolly Santa Claus with the fez at the conventions.
if Santa Claus was actually your creepy uncle in a very cheap suit from the Halloween store. But yeah, thank you for that. I do appreciate that, because I try to be positive. I try to be, make other people happy, which is why a lot of us do what we do in trying to make people happy. And I'm also probably the loudest person in there because I don't have an indoor voice to save my life. Never have. Doubt I'm going to get one anytime soon. So you will know I'm there one way or another.
Yeah, I'm a little different. I don't know how many times here at home Josh is continuously asking me to repeat myself because I have a softer voice. So, yeah, you probably wouldn't know that I was there. So, I don't know. Although, hopefully I think people know that I'm somebody that they can remember, because I usually say I'm really nice. But
Exactly.
But, so.
Which is why I adore you.
Oh, well, thank you. But, yeah, Brian, he has lots of good advice, as you have heard, and I'm going to let you go ahead and, promote anything you got going on right now. That's what it's for. So, go ahead.
Okay, what do I do right now? Well, right now I am, like many other authors, creating madly because we're not worried about traveling anywhere.
Yeah.
But no, I'm currently working on my very first anthology for my company, Rising Tide Publications. And it's more than just a publishing name. It is my philosophy that, like John F. Kennedy used to say, a rising tide raises all ships. We all look out for each other. We get looked out for. And it has proven very beneficial not only for my business, but for my personal life as well, and that of my friends, too. But anyway, we are working on our first anthology.
That's
Doc
awesome.
Saga is the name of the character I created. He is a ageless healer who is traveling the world, healing the planet one soul at a time. And we've got some great stories that we're editing right now. And it's so fun to come up with an idea and see other people taking it under their arms and racing towards the goal line. It's been a lot of fun to read these stories. We're hoping to have that out before the end of the year, if not definitely the first quarter of 2021.
Awesome.
I've got a number of anthologies that are with, short stories, I should say, with other publishers that are awaiting publication as well as a novel that I can't talk about because we don't have the contract signed yet. Oh, business. Cruel business. But anyway, I'm currently doing some broadcasting, as I mentioned earlier. I have a channel on YouTube called Brian K. Morris, Rising Tide Publications, and there you can watch live broadcasts of our morning show, Never Mind the Furthermore. You do get points if you can tell me where that phrase is from. And we do that at 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Then on Tuesday nights, we do a conversation show with various creative people called Clever Title Pending. No, don't send me any more possible titles. That is the title. Invariably, I will say I have a show called Clever Title Pending. The next day, I will get like 4 or 5 emails. So here's a list of things you can call your show now.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, we've only called it that for 2 years.
Yeah, I know.
I think the name's going to stick. But anyway, we talk to various creatives, publishers, editors, writers, illustrators, just anybody that's really cool and creative and will put up with me for a couple of hours. We've had some people who are published internationally. We've had a USA Today best-selling author even.
That's awesome.
And we've got some really good guests coming up as the weeks unfold. And that's Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Central and 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you go to YouTube, you can watch some recent episodes of both. We also broadcast on the Rising Tide Publications page on Facebook, as well as Geek Insider, who is kind of promoting our shows right now. And we're very grateful to have their support and their know-how in order to to grow our network.
Of course.
Pretty much. And in addition to that, if that wasn't enough, my dear, I have a Patreon page now.
Yay!
That I have been, and I have subscribers and everything, for which I'm incredibly grateful. But for those of you who don't know, Patreon is kind of like Kickstarter or Indiegogo, except you take out a subscription of sorts, where every month you send a certain amount of money to a creative person, of which I am one. And in my case, $1 will get your name in as long as you're a member of my Patreon, you will get your name in every publication Rising Tide does from this point on. And for $5, you'll get access to special videos, things that won't wind up on YouTube, as well as what we're calling a first draft flash novel. Now, I'm notorious for outlining the heck out of things. I refuse to go into battle without proper planning. Well, I only have the vaguest idea of where this story is going to go, and I'm writing it anyway.
Cool.
One chapter at a time, and $5 per month will get you access to those. The second issue, or the second chapter, rather, will be going up this week, and I'm quite excited by it. It's turning out to be a lot of fun. Plus, you get to give your feedback on how the story is going, which could change the outcome of the book when it will be published eventually. And at $10, we haven't seeded this level yet, so don't be rushing out to sign up yet, because I will for $10 you will get a PDF of everything I have ever published.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I think it's a good deal, and we're going to be doing some special stuff for the patrons, including restarting my blog for I think the third or fourth time. I used to have a blog on Blogger, I think it was, and I had a real big Russian following for some reason. So, but anyway, that's the stuff I'm doing. Plus, I'm promoting, helping others as much as I can, and doing incredible podcasts like this. Holy cats! This is the highlight of my day. I'm telling you.
Oh, good! I'm so glad.
Yeah, and the only personal appearance I've got so far for the rest of the year is October 17th. I will be at Kokomo Con in Kokomo, Indiana, at 1500 North Reed Road. I think that's from 10 to 5. And we will be doing the social distancing, mask, and hand sanitizer. I've been drinking hand sanitizer for about 6 months now. It seems to be working. But anyway, and we're going to have a couple of actors from the Power Rangers will be there. So check out Comics Cubed in Kokomo on Facebook. Yes, I am willing to promote others. And also check out Cherry House Press, especially Dreamscapes, an amazing book with poems and short stories, fiction and nonfiction about dreams. Why, golly, coincidentally, I have a story in there.
Yes, you do.
So please check it out. Available on Amazon.
Yeah, that one was, I think, one of our most successful anthologies. Mind me, oh my gosh, there's authors from all over the world in that. I want to say I really just took on a project. There's over 60-some authors in that book.
I thought you were about to say 60 some odd authors.
No.
So some people do, and I'll cop to that.
No, there's 60-some, and they're from all over the world. It is literally international.
That is fantastic. I'm very proud of that book, and I'm proud of you for putting that out.
Yeah, it was a good book, and believe it or not, I think we're still selling copies off Amazon every now and then. So, just kind of cool. During this time, I see that you've gotten more into your broadcasting. We've all had to learn to be more creative in representing ourselves and promoting ourselves. And I know a lot of us are thankful for the internet and the capability of being able to reach a wide audience, since mostly everyone who is used to traveling is not traveling right now. I mean, I even decided to try to get back into YouTube, and I hate being in front of the camera. So, I like to hide behind the mic.
You should have nothing to fear.
I am not photogenic at all, but thank you.
Hey, if I can make a go of it on YouTube, my gosh, you can. Sure.
Yeah, I have older videos. I was more or less just making videos on, like, putting just my voice in the background with pictures and videos. But this time,
right.
I'm actually getting in front of the camera, and I mean, so we're working on it. But I believe my first video, I know it was my second one, recently, how to write a poem. I feel pretty good because I inspired a really good friend of mine to write this poem for the first time since he was a kid, and he's a friend that we have